Yeah. It's your man Millyz. Shout out to all hip hop legendary platform. Bow.
Yo, what's going on, world? It's your man Chuck Creekman, aka Jigsaw, here at One World Studios in Midtown Manhattan, and we are here with none other than Cambridge's finest, Millyz. What's up, my brother?
What's going
How you
on,
doing,
Chuck?
man?
Good,
It's good to
man.
have you in the studio finally.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely, man. Been a fan for a minute, listening to these bars that you be dropping. Definitely a barbarian. On the mic.
Barbarian.
Yeah, barbarian. So what's going on with you, man? You got a new album coming, Blanco 6.
Blanco
the
6.
the sixth
B6.
installment. What made you continue on with the series
It's
after
just
5?
just like musically, I started getting after like what I really wanted to attain with my sound. You know what I mean? So I started finding this sound, and I just got to keep mastering that sound.
Yeah.
So while I'm on that sound, I don't want to call it nothing else because it falls under that Blanco umbrella. You know what I mean?
Right. Now you have a very emotional tone to a lot of your music. Where does that come from? Like, where does your, you don't hear a lot of that substance in hip hop.
Yeah.
Days. It's turn up music mostly.
A lot of turn up music. I think that's why my shit actually popped in the pandemic.
Right.
Because the clubs were closed.
Right.
You had to really listen and get in touch with, you know what I mean, your emotions. So I don't know. I guess it just comes from me really being like an empath. You know, I feel my pain and then I feel other people's pain. So whether it's like depression I'm going through or joy, I really put it all in the music. You know what I mean? But it's just that I don't cut out. Some people will only go with their highlights. I just kind of go with everything. You know?
Right. That's funny because I don't hear too many rappers say they're an empath. I don't know.
Yeah.
I use words like that because I'm tapped in a little bit differently. Yeah. But I don't hear that from most people. Yeah. What makes you kind of even refer to yourself as that?
I think I just always, I was always like that since I was young. You know what I mean? I didn't go for like bullying. I knew real young. Like I would feel bad if like even at 10 years old, if a kid was getting bullied in the class or something like that, I'd feel bad for that kid, you know, like deeply, and I'd stand up for it. Yeah. And then I just feel people's pain, bro. Like, you know.
That's funny. My first fight way back in the day was the same thing. Kid was bullying people. Yeah. Actually, he's bullying a friend of mine, and finally I was like, yo, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him for my man. But I wasn't like, it wasn't like cool or nothing. It was like I had to do it.
Yeah, it was in your heart for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
It was in your heart.
So, as an MC, that's a word we don't use a lot these days. You're a spitter. You write. Do you write on paper like?
Nah, I don't. I write.
Okay.
I write in my phone. Okay. Sometimes, like, I just go in the booth and I'll punch.
Okay.
It depends how my studio time is because, like, I really came up on, all right, I'm paying this $40, $50 per hour, so I'm not going to play with it. My shit is going to be done because I only got 3 hours. So I never came from, like, these guys who get signed when they're 20 years old and they give you a budget to just rock out in the studio and be creative. I didn't have that. I had to. So now,
you had to be on point.
Yeah. So now, like, if I got a lot of time, if I know the engineer's there, like, I'll go off the dome. You know what I mean? But other than that, I'm writing in my phone. But I do know some rappers, like, still this day that write on paper. Like, Mozzie writes on paper. Issa write on paper. Yeah. You know what I mean? Shit like
it's
that.
funny. A lot of people don't know what punch is, but I do. Explain, because I'll be real. The first person I knew that did that technique was Uncle Murder, and he was here at One World Studios, and he would do one line,
punch,
come back, punch, think about it, punch, and that was like foreign to me. I was like, what is he doing? Yeah, what? You don't do that. You go in there and you try to knock 16 out in the first take. Yeah, but at this point I'm like, oh, it's kind of normal. But
it is the norm now. It's probably like the more dominant rap style now. Yeah, I would say probably at least 70% of rappers in the game do that.
Yeah, definitely. So does one versus the other help like maybe overthinking or not overthinking?
Yeah, like sometimes when I'm in my like just punch, sometimes I get the greatest shit in the world because I'm just that's when I'm super careless about what I'm saying, but in a good way.
Yeah.
You know, so I could get, and you're capturing that energy right then and there, like, oh, this shit just hit me. Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, this shit just hit me. Oh, that's brilliant. You feel it, and your energy is up, so it might translate on the song. Yeah. You know, but then there's something to, you know, writing it down too and coming in prepared.
Got you. Now you had a song with Jadakiss a few years ago. Somebody told me you were signed to Jadakiss. Is that true?
Yeah, that's a fact.
You're signed to Jadakiss. Yeah. All right, I didn't know that. That's like fam. You know, Jadakiss is the man. The Locks actually good. For people. Sure. How is that being signed to such a legendary artist who is good people too? Like, you know, he's been through it all. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I get the impression you've been through a lot. Yeah. You know, and listening to your songs and stuff, you definitely have been. Yeah. So how is it being down with Kiss?
It's amazing. I wouldn't choose any other artist to be down with because it's like, you know, he's a legacy act. He's a legend in this shit for real, like, and still hot and still relevant and still, you know, in tune with fashion and the culture and still could out rap people. So it's not like being signed to a legend that's like over the hill. Yeah. You know, it's signed to like a legend, but somebody who could still go out and drop 40.
Yeah.
So that's a fact. I love being signed to Kiss, and I learn a lot just from, you know, watching him and how he carries himself.
What have you learned watching him?
Just how to deal with, you know, with the rap game in general. You know, there's so many elements to this shit. Like, so many elements, and you just kind of just pick up things like, oh, he's this way towards, you know, when it comes to clubs, or this way when it comes to the media, or this way when it comes to dealing with DJs and producers, however it is, you know. Yeah. Like this in the studio, and you just pick up things, you know, and, move from there.
What have you learned? What has he told you? Sort of like learning from telling. Has he told you anything? Any wisdom?
He told me shit like, stop showing money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like he'll sometimes he really lets me like navigate my own ship, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But sometimes he'll step in and be like, yo, stop showing all that money on Instagram. Like that's little shit like that. Like when I first started getting it in the pandemic and shit like that. Stop showing money, or like just like little things. He'll just tell me, you know, to be up on my game for real. Got you. Make sure I'm in the gym. Like none of this matters without, you know, fitness, things like that.
Right.
Yeah, so he's like a rapper, you know, CEO, but a life coach too, without really trying too hard.
Yeah. So what was life like before the pandemic for you?
Before the pandemic, I was just still trying to, like, I always thought I was the biggest rapper, you know what I mean? Yeah. Not really like the biggest rap, but I always knew I was kind of destined. And I was just going, like, if it don't work, just keep trying. I would give myself, like, windows, though. Like, all right, 2 more years. I'm going to push 2 more years. Right. But then it happened in the pandemic. And so before, it was the same. It was just nobody, like, I thought a lot of people knew me because I always kind of been, like, locally famous in Massachusetts. Right. But not nationally. Like, nationally, I could walk around New York and people wouldn't recognize me just, like, on the here and there. Yeah. And I'd get excited when it happens. Right. You know, now it's, like, expected. Like, if I go stand outside for 3 minutes, somebody's going to know me. You know what I mean?
That's dope.
Yeah.
What is it about New York that you gravitated to? And, in fact, you know, there's a few folks from that area in the city. Like, you've clicked up a little bit, right?
From out here?
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. Like I linked with Dave East, you know, early when I came here. On my journey, I linked with Jim Jones. Yeah. You know, a plethora of different rappers. Like when I first started coming to New York, I was around Pro Era and all of that. So
right.
Yeah, I met a lot of people, but I just love the hustle of New York. I love the motion. It's like it's constantly in motion. People are constantly moving. Yeah. It makes you want to get up and go chase it. Like you could get up at 5 a.m, look out the window, and you're gonna see cars flying by. Like it's active. People are going to get it, whatever they're doing, whether they're working in a restaurant or, you know, cleaning the city up or going to Wall Street, you know, all different levels, or going to pursue fashion, music, sports, whatever it is. This shit is shaking.
Yeah.
And I like that. That added to my hustle. And it's like, if you could make it here, you could make it anywhere. That was in my mind. And I came and I started from the bottom out here.
Yeah, that's a fact. So how do people treat you now? You mentioned being a celebrity. That comes with, you know, it's two sides to that. It's two sides of that. Like, I'm going to keep it real with y'all. I went to, this is going to put me on blast, but I walked into a Burlington coat factory one time.
Yeah.
And the security guy was like, hey, I know you from somewhere. And I was like, damn, if I keep going, I might not be able to go into Burlington no more.
Yeah.
Shit was crazy. But how is like emerging fame for you?
That's a good way to put it too, emerging fame, because I'm not like a celebrity, but I'm like very popular. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm an underground superstar, if that's like a level. So there's these like levels to rap now, where an underground superstar, basically an indie artist, could be wealthy. They could really get it shaken. So just at that level, I feel like, you know, it's dope. It was a slow burn to get there. Like, it didn't happen overnight. So I kind of like prepped myself for it while it was going on. Yeah. And now the only thing that's different is, like, I don't move around by myself as much.
Right, got you.
And not for me, you know, like, not that I feel, you know, somebody's going to do something to me, but it's just to not even involve myself in certain situations, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. No, you got to move safe.
Move stealth.
Head on a swivel. But, I mean, that takes different forms, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, definitely. You have a movement called SPED. Talk to us about that a little bit and what that stands for.
So SPED, pretty much, I was like a short bus kid. You know, I was taking a short bus to school. I was always in the resource rooms and alternative schools for behavior disorders, learning disorders, what they said. And as I grew up, I realized, damn, like, you know, I had to fight the odds, because once you're in those rooms, you know, a classroom like this size, once you're in those rooms, it's really hard to get to where you want to go in life through the traditional routes.
Yeah.
Because you're like, all right, I can't really go to college. I can't even function in a regular classroom in elementary or high school.
Right.
You know, my high school was 22 boys.
Yeah.
That was
crazy.
it.
Wow.
I graduated with one kid. Wow. You know what I mean? So when people have like graduating classes or like, I can't relate to none of that. My whole school is probably dead or in jail for real.
Wow.
You know, like, except maybe, I don't know. If I had to do the numbers, like, it would probably be shocking to me. And that's how all of those alternative schools are. Mm-hmm. You know, I went into a high school in South Boston once, and I asked the kids, you know, they were in the special education class, and I asked the kids, how many of y'all feel like you can never be nothing because you were put in this program? Raise your hand. And they all raised their hand immediately. Yeah. So I kind of wanted to take that stigma off once I got a little bit successful. Mm-hmm. And then you start to meet other successful people that were in those classes too. Yeah. You know, and I just wanted to show that to those kids that, yo, don't think life is over just because you're put in this. Because I'm going to give you an example of somebody who's successful, me. And then, like, ultimately, down the road, I want to keep building that movement and just keep finding more successful people, and we all team up to the point where now it's like kids in the resource rooms, alternative schools, special education programs feel right there equal with, you know, the normal kids.
That's very dope, very dope. In fact, I'll tell you personally that I know kids in my life that you've impacted in a positive way who've been through those programs. So, yeah, know that it's actually really dope and inspirational.
That's fire.
So let me ask you, you're a white guy that does street music. You know, we're kind of known in hip hop. It's like, you know, for the most part, the white guys go, it seems like, at least I should say, pop. You know, they chase the, you know, because that, a lot of the hip hop audience might skew that way. You know what I mean? But you've been very, like, steadfast, I guess you could say, in your vision, I think, at least, I think. Mm-hmm. How is it for you, you know, doing that type of music? It's not quite what I would say is hardcore. You know, it's like thoughtful street music though.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How have you has that been helpful for your career, or you think it's why the long route you've been taking that long route?
Yeah, I think it's why it's been the long route, because people aren't used to hearing that, it's a brand new concept to wrap their mind around.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the norm in America.
Right.
So it's like, what's your point of reference when you thinking about me? Is it there's fictional characters? Is it Tommy from Power, or is it Malibu's Most Wanted?
Right.
Neither character exists.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
So it's your point of reference.
Yeah.
Did you know a white kid in the neighborhood full of all black kids? Was he tough?
Yeah.
Did you have that experience? Did you have, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, what is your point of reference?
Right.
So a lot of times people are looking at my career and they have no point of reference. And we're in a country where we really want to put people in a box. We want to understand them soon, fast. Like, as soon as you meet somebody, you want to understand them. Yeah. Okay, so you're from here, and you did what?
Yeah.
Okay, let me check you into this box over here.
Right.
Okay, so you from, all right, let me check you into this box. Yeah. And when you can't do that, you know what I mean? When you can't understand somebody, sometimes it'll breed confusion, or it'll breed hatred,
Yeah.
And I feel that because people haven't been able to understand me, and I don't fit into a box, or they have no point of reference for what I'm talking about, it's made my journey way longer.
Yeah.
Because if a rapper comes out of Florida right now, and he got the wicks on, and he sound like, Kodak or something, you're going to be like, oh, I got my point of reference for you is Kodak. And you're from Florida. Y'all got choppers.
Right.
You with the Zoes. Okay, bow. Oh, you from Chicago.
Right.
Oh, you got the Shiesty. Oh, you from Memphis. I got a point of reference for you. Yeah. When you don't have a point of reference for a rapper, it's kind of hard to understand. So that's when I'm really like kicking the door open.
Right.
And there's been other rappers like that. It's not just me. You know what I mean? There's been rappers who've had long journeys like that.
Yeah.
From 50 Cent to a lot of rappers. You know what I mean? But yeah, you got to kick that. You got to kick that door down and make them understand. So probably for the kid coming after me, now there will be some sort of point of reference.
Okay. And Latinos, have they played an instrumental part in your life, like as influences or?
Yeah, more like when I moved to New York, for real.
Okay.
So at the same time as I moved to New York in 2013. And at the same time, about a year, 2 years before that, I was meeting this group of producers called the Colombians.
Okay.
And they would send me beats, and the beat tag was the Colombians. And when I got on the phone with them, I realized, oh, they're really in Colombia, like Medellin. And this is Medellin. This is Colombia before Americans was going to Colombia. Right. Like, it was clipped. There's nobody on Instagram going, look, I'm in Medellin. No, it was like, you're going to go get kidnapped out there. Yeah. And so they were telling me, yo, come to Colombia. And I fucked with their music so much, and I don't know, I just trust certain shit. Like, I was just like, all right. And I went to Colombia. So I started, building a relationship with them and finding the love for, like, the country of Colombia. At the same time, I moved to the Bronx in 2013. Now I'm with wild Dominicans, and everybody I'm meeting is Dominican. Yeah. So, yeah, for sure.
You started out in the Bronx. Bronx is tough, Bronx.
Yeah,
tough.
For sure.
Yeah, no, salute all the Bronx people, cause
definitely.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
The Bronx, you'd be all right if you mind your business.
Yeah, definitely.
Mind your business. But if you don't mind your business, it might take your face off for real. Yeah. Like, anything can happen in the Bronx. The Bronx is wild.
I was in a shootout in the Bronx, not me literally.
Yeah.
And I just ducked under this car and just slayed as flat as I could until it was over. Yeah, it was
BX.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Have you who would you like to work with that you haven't worked with yet?
I want to work with Rod Wave.
Rod Wave, why?
Yeah, just because he's like, that's one of my favorite artists. He really got that soul to him.
Yeah.
Speak to your heart. I want to work with Rod Wave. Who else is out there that I want to work with? That's probably my main one.
You like to sing a little bit too.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm an R&B guy for real.
Right.
For sure.
Who's your favorite R&B singer?
Well, I came up on like Boys to Men and big sounding music.
Yeah.
Like ballads and shit like that. So I like all the groups from like, Silk to Drew Hill.
Yeah, okay.
I like big sounding R&B music.
Right. We need to bring
But then
that back.
I love all. Man, it's hundreds of singers that I love.
Was New Edition big when you were growing up? Like,
I missed that.
Yeah,
Nah, I missed that. And I got on the Boys to Men even after like their run was, kind of being up. But I dug back into the classics,
Yeah, no, they still doing it. They really put it down for Boston. And I know you.
Yeah, shout out Mike Bivens for sure.
Yeah, no, they really put it down. Benzino's another one.
Yeah.
Who put it down? I mean, forget your views on him.
Right. Nah, yeah, he represented.
Yeah. Were there anybody? Did you look up to anybody when you were growing up? Were you like, yo, he did it, I could do it, or
Eminem,
I hear this?
Eminem was probably the one that made me go, he did it, I could do it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Because there wasn't that example.
Right.
So Eminem, Paul Wall.
Yeah.
As far as me, like,
right.
looking in the mirror, like, okay, there's some serious white rappers.
Man, listen, there was some before that, but Eminem made it like the lyricism was.
Yeah, I missed him if there was, for real. I know that there was, but I missed him. It wasn't. Yeah.
Now let me ask you, because I gotta pull my phone out for this question. It's not that deep, but I just want to make sure I get it right. So you had the song Tonight, am I correct? And did you sample Eminem or did you use the same sample?
So I sampled the sample that he sampled.
Right, you sampled the sample.
Sampled the sample that was sampled by the sampler. Nah, I sampled I sampled Dido's voice that he sampled on Stan. So I sampled the Stan sample.
So somebody was like, "Did Eminem approve his sample?" And I was like, "Oh, come on, are we doing that?" But it is a. Most people think of Eminem.
Yeah. And even when I put it out, I said, "Yo, I just cleared the Stan sample," because to me it's the Stan sample.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I don't know the other song.
Right.
Yeah. But thank you to her. Love you.
Now you made a little wave with Ray Shrimmer.
Yeah.
Because they had commented after you dropped it. We did it first. Nobody was thinking about that.
Right.
Did you respond to that? Did you engage with them?
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit. But I talked to Swayze. Like everything's copacetic. You know, I think we were just trying to come with the same kind of marketing strategy, same song sample. So we just bumped heads a little bit. But I got respect for those guys. They're okay. And I just rapped about them a little bit in the freestyle. But lyrics just be coming to my mind. Shit just pops in my mind. Punch.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what's up. No, I like them. They kind of making a comeback now. So they had some issues personally that have resolved themselves, and so it's good to see them come back. Yeah, definitely. Have you ever had any rap beefs?
Nah, just low level rappers, people that's not worth. It'll be like I'm rapping down,
yeah,
gotcha. Like a giant talking to a dwarf.
Right.
So it's like nobody's serious,
Yeah.
Nothing that I would be willing to you gotta at least be on my level, a little bit close to my level or above me.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna reach you down and just help you out.
Right. What about you and Dave East? You guys seem particularly close. What was the the energy matched up? What was that?
Man, I think we just both love rap. We both love high-level rap. We kind of came up with that term, the HLR. We started saying high-level rap years ago. And then we went on to do a EP called Pablo and Blanco.
Yep.
So, for real, me and East are in a group. Pablo and Blanco is a group.
Yeah.
When people see us together, they go, "Oh, Pablo and Blanco."
Yeah, definitely.
So, that's my dog. Good, solid person, loves the craft, works hard at it, and I'm the same way.
Y'all gonna do another one?
Yeah. Hell yeah. Streets need it.
Okay, all right. Hold on. Let me. I got a couple more. I don't like to write my questions down, but I definitely wanted to make sure I covered the bases with you. What about an album with Kiss? You think y'all could do an album? That would be kind of fire.
Yeah, I think that's really on Kiss, but I would love to do that. We spoke about some things like that though.
Last time I talked to Kiss, he talking about no more album. I think that just changed recently though.
Nah, he's gonna drop. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He's
Good.
gonna drop.
Good. So this is not my question, but somebody wanted me to ask you: will the Celtics win the championship? Do you think they can? Do they have a shot?
Definitely have a shot, and yeah, I think they will win the championship.
Yeah. So you're a diehard.
Definitely got them.
I used to hate the Celtics.
Diehard Celtics fan.
I'm a Sixers fan, man.
Oh,
so
man.
we kind of
bad
mortal,
for you, man.
kind of mortal enemies.
Sure.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. Actually, I'm not that big into basketball, but it's like I'm slowly getting back into it, so it's all good. Right. But see, I go back to the Larry Bird days when Larry Bird was killing people.
Yeah, that's a little different.
Slaying people like left and right.
Yeah.
So
I didn't get to live that, but I watched the highlights.
Oh man, it was nothing like it. Nothing like it. Now, how many tattoos do you got?
I got so many. It all became like one. You know what I mean? It's just like one. But if I had to guess offhand, probably like, I don't know, 50 or something like that.
50? That's it?
Yeah, because I get big pieces.
Okay,
you know?
got you.
So
that's an expensive habit.
Yeah,
it's an expensive habit. All right, so here's something that we ask everybody at allhiphop.com. Your top 5, dead or alive. We gotta get it.
Yeah, I told somebody that my top 5 switches every day. I just do it by who comes to mind first.
All right. Well, I always like to frame it around maybe who was like an influence. Like you mentioned.
I go top 5 most influential.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Nipsey Hussle.
Okay, why Nip?
That's just one of my favorite rappers forever. Like you could look back to my tweets. You could search Millyz Nipsey Hussle and you'll see tweets pop up from 2013, 2014 saying, yo, Nipsey Hussle's my favorite rapper.
Yeah.
Top 10 all time in 2014.
Right.
Met Nipsey Hussle, really told him this type of shit to his face. Right. You know, told him he's my favorite. So he really sparked the thought in my mind to, you know, transition completely out of the streets and that you could also be a successful independent rapper. Dope. So I followed in his teachings, you know. Eminem, second most influential. I don't even want to go. I'm going to just give the 5. But, yeah, Eminem, super influential to me. Rap style and just knowing, all right, like, I could do this too.
Have you met him yet?
Nah.
You got to meet him.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Yeah. Biggie.
Okay.
Big for sure. Just off Life After Death, to me, that's like the superior album to everything.
That's dope. I was actually revisiting Big recently, and he's incredible. Like he's always been incredible, but
next level incredible though.
Yeah,
it's next level
definitely.
Incredible.
See, the '90s was such an incredible period overall. Like damn near everything that came out commercially was ridiculous.
Was great, yeah.
Yeah. So to go back and listen to Big now, I got like a different type of appreciation.
Yeah. Life After Death is just, I don't know. It's like there's albums and then there's Life After Death to me. That's how I hold it in regards. But the Locks.
Yeah, okay. The whole Locks.
The Locks.
Boom. Yeah, no, that's a fact.
I just got to go to Locks. Yeah. Very influential and just knowing how to like just destroy. Like this is the Locks is like seek and destroy, like a heat-seeking missile when they rap. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So the Locks. And then I'll go. See, then it's like I'm gonna go DMX.
Oh, I appreciate you.
Yeah,
all right,
I'm gonna go DMX.
Yeah. Yo, oh my God, I was.
And that's where you get into some of the empath and the more emotional shit. You know
definitely.
What I mean?
Yeah, no, that's a fact. I was listening. So I was blessed to interview DMX lots of times. And he's always left off these lists, and I'm like, yo, what is wrong with y'all? Like, he was dope. He covered the bases.
You know what it is with the list, bro? I feel like we get so into saying the cliche names, people who have worked themselves in there.
Yeah.
Like, usually my list goes like, it would be like Tupac, Big. Like, I could have threw Pac in there. That's why I just switch it every time. Yeah. Anytime somebody asks me the question, I switch it because I don't know. You know what I mean? But it's like, you know, usually I go Tupac, Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas, and then pick your fifth slot, Eminem or whatever, because these are the people that are, you know, spoken of so much in this top 5. It's almost a sin to put them out of there. So I think that's what makes people sometimes forget X. Like, people forget the impact he had on the world and how great his music was, you know? Yeah. But nah, X for sure, super impactful.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, what have you, you know, this rap game, like, I've been in the game for a minute, you know what I mean? I see people come, see people go through hell, come back, like pretty much the whole gambit of stories. What have you seen and you're like, wow, I didn't know it was like this. Like, once you're outside and once you're inside, you wake up and you're like,
there's so many things that it's like, I think once you're inside this shit, you really understand how much work it takes, and you understand that no one ever did this without putting in work.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
If they did, they didn't last too long. It's a hectic schedule. You know, this shit sometimes feels like being like an athlete, and now we're in the era of like competitive rap.
Yeah.
Like, you better put out volume,
right,
and it better be quality too.
Right.
Because before, it's like, all right, you could push out, like, even in the mixtape days, like 10 years ago, you could push out volume. It wouldn't end your career if you dropped a whack mixtape.
Right.
You could just drop 5 more, and people would pick 2 songs off of each one, and you're like, look, I'm feeding the streets. Now, you could go try to feed the streets, but if they say the food is disgusting, your shit is finished, and they're going to be like, you fell off. So you could fall off for not dropping music, and you can also fall off for dropping whack music.
Yeah. That's a fact.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is the first era where it's like you can fall off for dropping whack music and you could fall off for not dropping music. So what's the key? The key is to drop fire music constantly. And you got to be creative, and then you still got to promote it, because now if you don't go and run it around, they're going to say you fell off too because it didn't do well.
Yep.
So it's like, I'm not complaining. I just see it how it is. You know what I mean?
It's something that.
But we're in the era of competitive rap, and I don't mean like how the '90s was like competitive rap in the art form of rapping good. I mean we're in the business of competitive rap now. Who can drop the most, the fastest, with the most quality?
No, that's
and
a
still
fact.
have it do well, and those are the rappers who succeed.
It's funny because people don't realize that when Nas responded to Jay-Z's,
it took years.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
It would have been over. Because now they want that shit 24
hours. Right.
They're going to be like, oh, you missed the moment. Mad shit happened in the news already.
It's crazy. Yo, it's crazy. That's why I give younger MCs or people from right now so much respect. Because I look at the comments, and the comments will be like, yo, this is mixed horribly. They didn't quantize the beat or whatever. Like the comment section be lit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, y'all supposed to be fans. Y'all like got this ear that didn't even matter back in the day.
It's crazy.
And you're right. You know, the quality has to be right on point.
Because there's so much out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
there's so much out there for them to consume.
Yeah, no, that's true.
That it's like, why listen to you, bro?
Yeah, no, that's true. Nah. Well, that's why I appreciate you, man, because you definitely bring the heat every single time. And that's, you know, I don't know what drives you, you know, but sometimes being an outsider can drive you too. You refer to yourself as a misfit. I forget the exact song, but it's from your first album.
Outcast,
not your first album, but, you know, a few years ago.
Yeah.
Outcast. Yeah, so why would you refer to yourself like that?
I just don't fit into like any certain group, you know what I mean? Like, just not all the way.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm just different in terms of this, you know, this rap game. It's not somebody that's comparable to me really like that. Yeah. So, you know, kind of what we talked about before, like no point of reference and shit like that. But yeah, I think, I don't know, like I knew it was gonna be an uphill battle, so just kept going with that chip on my shoulder of being, you know, a misfit or somebody who's not the typical. Like I got a line, I said I doubt about the odd makers turned into the star player.
Right.
You know, like the odd makers in Vegas said I was gonna lose by 60.
Right. But
so yeah.
If you weren't rapping, what would you be?
I think I would be in a worse place unless I figured out something else, you know, like, but the me that I am, I think I would have been doing something else to try to achieve what I want to achieve out of rap.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But once I realized that street guys just want to be rappers at the end of the day, I'm like, oh nah, that's what made me fully engage with just being a rapper.
Yeah.
Because before I wanted to be, you know, I wanted to be in the streets and I wanted to be a rapper. And then when you realize that street dudes go risk their lives to get money and go into the club and pay for a section to be next to the rapper section and try to throw more money than the rapper who's getting paid at the club.
Right.
And all the bitches came for the rapper.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know,
why bother?
Yeah. Why bother? Why not just be the rapper?
Right.
So, yeah, I think I would be doing something. I think I would be doing not the greatest things to try to attain what I have now.
Right. Now, is there a person who you look back on and say, yeah, I showed you? Is there somebody you look back on and say, you see me now, right?
It's a few of them, yeah. It's a few of them.
Can you name them?
Nah, I'm not going to name them.
Okay.
It's a few of them. It's people that I still might, you know, interact with to this day.
Okay, yeah.
But it's definitely people that thought, you know, I wouldn't make it to where I am.
Right.
I really felt that, you know, when the money hit for the first time, and I'm like, y'all thought it was over.
Yeah.
You thought it wasn't gonna happen, you know. But I just keep going. It's not even something I would go, you know, rubbing their face. Pause.
Right. We pause a lot around here. Pause.
Yeah.
But man, appreciate you.
We do too, like OD. Like,
yeah, sometimes it
I
gets
be
ridiculous.
in interview modes, and I'm like, yo, half the time you see me looking up is because I'm like, damn, like how can I express this thought I'm having?
Right. No, I did this last interview and I paused myself. I said, yo, hold on, man. I gotta pause myself.
It's super childish, but it adds like some fun to the day, you know what I mean? Yeah. Just be laughing and shit.
Definitely. So what's your ultimate goal in this game? Like where do you want to be? Like 10, I don't know how long you want to rap. Some people say, oh, I'm gonna stop at 35 or 40.
Yeah, I wanna, like, I don't even think 10 years sounds crazy to me. I'm not gonna lie. And I be feeling like, you know, not to sound morbid or anything, but I just be feeling like, you know, after my project drops or whenever I've gotten the last of my creativity off of my heart, I'm ready to go. You know what I mean? Like, I did it. I'm ready to go. Yeah. We only here for a short amount of time anyway. Like, I don't necessarily think about growing and getting old and shit like that. I think about my life in context of the art that I'm putting out and what I'm adding to humanity. Yeah. So obviously if I could still do that as being an older person, that's dope. But I really don't even think that far. So I only think in the course of my career, and I feel like I want to keep bombing and dropping shit for the next, you know, year, 2 years, and then step back and then put some other rappers in the game and still, you know, maybe be involved with the music behind the scenes, write for people and shit like that. But I always wanted to be something creative. So that's it.
Oh yeah. The other thing I want to ask you, you mentioned your addiction. You talk about that. How are you with that now? Do you not smoke, drink? Like, are you good?
Yeah, I'm good. Like, I drink socially.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get blasted and obliterated. And I smoke lightly. I smoke very lightly. You know, I smoke to watch a movie or something, or I smoke at the end of like a, you know, strenuous night. Yeah. But other than that, you know, I just drink on the here and there. But I'm even trying to cut that down. So.
Got you. Yo, man, I appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate you, bro. Legend.
Continue.
Big legend in the game.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Salute One World Studios.
Yeah.
Yeah.